Hey guys, how's it going? Robert Warshak here, and we've got some more Descent of Dragon cards to cover. They released quite a bit more today, and they're really powerful. Like every card that we're going to take a look at today, starting with Nether Breath. So deal 2 damage if you're holding a dragon, deal 4 damage, and then with Lifesteal instead. So a 2 mana, worst case deal 2 and it can go face, and best case you to 2 mana deal 4 and it has lifesteal. And as we know, warlocks benefit a lot from lifesteal because they do take a decent amount of damage from their hero power among other cards in the deck that does damage to them. So overall, this is just a really powerful card. Taking a look at Crazed Netherwing, a 5 mana 5/5 dragon. So obviously we got some dragon synergy here with the card we just covered, and it's Battlecry. If you're holding a dragon in your hand, you know, very similar effect to what we've seen in the past with most dragon synergies. Deal 3 damage to all other characters. This includes our opponent directly. It includes us and all things on the battlefield, very similar to Abyssal Enforcer, the 6 mana 6/6, deal 3 to everything. This is a 5 mana 5/5 dragon, deal 3 to everything. So this is, again, going to be an insane dragon card in the Warlock deck. I mean, these are really, like, the 2 cards we went over are, like, so good. Like, oh my gosh. So the power of some Warlock dragons coming out of nowhere here, looking really strong. Moving to Dragon's Hoard. I originally looked at this card and I was like, it's you know, and then I looked at it again and thought about it a little bit more, and then it kind of, it grew on me a little bit. So it's a 1 mana, discover a legendary minion from another class. So obviously you have an option of 3 legendary minions, and depending on the situation we're in, whether we want like a big minion, a small minion, a value minion, there's going to be probably a pretty good choice out of the 3, and especially from another class. It's not a neutral legendary, and as we know, there's quite a few really bad neutrals, but normally class legendaries are pretty good. This includes the basic set core legendaries as well, so like Archmage and King Crush and Hellscream. So there's overall, I think there's a decent legendary pool that we can pull from that'll actually, be pretty good, because if we use this and the 3 legendaries suck, the card's kind of like meh. But I think legendaries, for the most part, class legendaries included, are really good, and this card looked better over time to me. Didn't look bad at all. So let's take a look at some of the rogue stuff. We got a 4 mana 2/5 combo. Draw a Death Rattle minion from your deck and gain its Death Rattle. So stat wise, obviously a 4 mana 2/5 seems relatively weak. The 5 HP is pretty good. The 2 attack is really low. But not only that, you get to draw a card from this guy, and he gets the Death Rattle. So obviously some Death Rattle rogue synergy here, and it'll be interesting to see if they print other decent Death Rattle rogue cards, or like what this could work for, because obviously you think of like Karen, being a good Death Rattle minion, or like Mechanical Whelp, being able to summon a 7/7 out of this guy is pretty insane as well. This is a really, like, obviously if Death Rattle Rogue is going to be played, this is going to be a core card in the deck, and if Death Rattle Rogue sucks, obviously this card won't be really played at all. But I actually think this card is pretty good, and on top of that, it allows draw. We've known like Prep Sprint in the past, right? And then Raiding Party got nerfed, so Rogue doesn't have like a ton of wonderful draw at the moment for any sort of Death Rattle Rogue. So this adds to the fact that, that Death Rattle Rogue normally doesn't have draw, and this is a good draw for that. All right, so the card that power creeps like crazy, the Amber Watcher, the 5 mana 4/6 dragon, Battlecry, restore 8 health. This card is insanely powerful and insanely good in any Dragon Paladin. If we compare this to its previous sort of counterpart, the Antique Healbot, I mean, we can tell by just stat-wise, and the fact that Antique Healbot, I mean, it's a mech, so that kind of helped it out a little bit, but this is a dragon, so you have dragon synergies. It's statted for a 5-drop fantastically, and its ability heals you for 1/3 of your life, basically. If we start at 30 and we've taken, we heal 8, that's almost 1/3 of the life, and it's statted 1, and it's a dragon. Obviously, a really powerful card here, and a huge power creep on what we've seen before with cards like Antique Healbot. Granted, this is a Paladin-only card, so not every deck can play this card like they could play Antique Healbot, but still, I mean, that is a big jump. And taking a look at the Hunter Legendary, we have the 6 mana 7/6 dragon, of course. Battlecry, change the health of all enemy minions to 1. So very similar. It's basically like Hunter's marking everything on your opponent's side of the field. So my problem is when you play this guy, let's say you play this guy on curve, right? You play this guy on 6. Stat-wise, he's really good, right? He's a 7/6 dragon. That's a huge dragon for 6 mana. The thing is, you're going to want to use other spells or creatures to be able to kill the creatures that you just set the HP to 1. So normally I think this guy is not going to be necessarily the greatest on turn 6, but maybe turn 9 when you can play this guy and then unleash the hounds, or you can play this guy and then play an arcane shot, or anything that does damage to the minion that you've just set to 1. Because if you're setting the minion's health to 1, they're just going to trade that minion into this guy. And it really doesn't matter if the HP was 1 or not. The only thing that matters there was the attack, right? But it's definitely not going to be a card where you like curve out and play this and it's really good. I guess if you could play this on a clear board, it's pretty good. But ideally, you're going to want to play this, and then whatever minions, again, get the discounted to 1, you're going to want to deal with those effectively. So I see this being like a turn 7 or turn 8 play where you could, like I said, combo this with a couple spells and be able to kill the minions that you've set to 1. So again, I wanted to keep these card reviews like, around 5 to 10 cards. I don't want to do too many, and I don't want to do one at a time because I think that's a waste of your time. So with that, which one of these is the most powerful, do you guys think? I'm thinking the Warlock one that deals 4 in lifesteal is most powerful, or potentially the Dragon that heals for 8. Those cards are good and super powerful, and it'd be interesting to see what you guys rate these cards as. Maybe put them in a list, or just shoot me whatever the most powerful is, but I'm interested to hear. But this new Dragon set's looking really strong, boys. So with that, and girls. So with that, thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next episode. Of course, I'm Robert Warshak, and happy whatever the hell day it is.